Because we are all living in a world that demands more from us than ever before. We are caught in an endless cycle of distractions, chasing after things that don't matter, and neglecting the one thing we cannot get back, our time. Time is the one thing we all have in common. It is the most democratic force in the world. Each of us gets the same 24 hours in a day, the same 365 days in a year, the same finite amount of moments, minutes, and hours that eventually slip away. But unlike material possessions or wealth, time cannot be bought or replaced. You can't pause it, rewind it, or stretch it. It moves at its own pace, unaffected by your wishes or desires. And yet, we often take it for granted. We waste it. We let it slip through our fingers, all the while believing that we have more of it than we really do. It's easy to fall into this trap. We live in a world that distracts us at every turn. Social media, notifications, the endless barrage of emails, and the constant need to do something, be somewhere, be someone. In all this noise, we forget something fundamental. Time is a finite resource. You are not promised tomorrow. You are not guaranteed a second chance. The clock is ticking, and each moment you waste is a moment you can never get back. Think about this for a moment. How many times have you said, "I'll start tomorrow"? How many times have you postponed something important, something you knew you needed to do because you thought there would be more time? How many times have you let a day, a week, a year slip by without truly living in it, without truly embracing it for what it is, a unique and irreplaceable gift? The truth is, we are all living the result of the time we've spent up until now. The choices we made yesterday, the actions we took, the things we focused on, have brought us to this very point. And that's not a concept to be taken lightly. The way you spend your time today will shape who you are tomorrow. It will determine where you stand in the future. Every choice, no matter how small, compounds over time. The people you interact with, the things you say yes to, the things you neglect, they all add up. Your life is the accumulation of how you've used time. But here's the thing that should wake you up. You still have time. You may not have more than you had yesterday, but you do have today. And with today, you have a chance to make different choices, better choices. The beauty of time is that it always offers you another opportunity, another chance to change your direction. The next hour can be different from the last. The next decision can shift everything. Time is not just a measurement of passing moments. It is a living, breathing thing. Time can either work for you or against you. When you are deliberate with your time, when you decide how you will spend each moment, time becomes your ally. It becomes the foundation on which you build your future. But when you allow time to slip by unnoticed, when you react to life instead of creating it, time becomes your enemy. It is in those moments that you feel the weight of regret. The pressure of realizing that time has passed, and with it, so many opportunities. But regret is a dangerous place to live. It is a place where you allow the past to steal your present. So how do you use your time wisely? The answer lies in being present. In the world we live in, it's easy to be distracted, to live in the future or the past, to worry about what's next or what's gone by. But true mastery of time comes when you learn to live fully in the present. When you focus on the task at hand, when you give yourself fully to the moment, you are giving your future self the greatest gift. Living in the present doesn't mean you ignore the future. It means you make decisions now that will honor your future self. Each small action you take today is the seed for tomorrow's growth. When you choose to focus on what matters right now, when you invest your time into things that serve your purpose, you set yourself on a course toward greater success, fulfillment, and peace. But that means making hard choices. It means saying no to things that are not in alignment with your goals. It means refusing to be distracted by the noise of the world. It means becoming fiercely protective of your time. Time is not something to be squandered on trivialities. Time is the most valuable asset you possess, and you must treat it as such. I want you to understand this. Time is the one thing that can never be replaced. The money you lose, the relationships that may fade, the opportunities that come and go. They can all be recovered to some extent, but once time is gone, it's gone. And that realization, when it hits you, is a powerful one. It can be a wake-up call that shifts your entire perspective. When you begin to see time for what it truly is, a limited, irreplaceable resource, you will stop wasting it on things that don't serve you. You will start making intentional choices. You will begin to focus on what truly matters, and you will find that your life opens up in ways you never imagined. The question I ask you is simple. How are you using your time? What are you doing right now that is propelling you forward, or what are you doing that is holding you back? And if you don't like the answers to those questions, then it's time to make a change. Time is on your side if you use it wisely. Time is a gift, but it's a gift that comes with an expiration. Living with intention is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. It's not enough to simply go through life reacting to circumstances, letting the world pull you in 1,000 different directions. If you want to make your life count, if you want to leave a legacy, if you want to feel truly alive, you must take control of your life and live with purpose. Most people go through their days in a haze, like actors on a stage following a script they didn't write. They wake up, go to work, handle the day's demands, and come home, only to repeat the same cycle over and over. There's no real direction, no real drive, no real passion. This is not how you were meant to live. You were not put on this earth to simply exist, to go through the motions and let life happen to you. You were put here to live boldly, to make decisions that move you closer to your vision, to take action with a clear sense of purpose. Living with intention means choosing to be the author of your own story. It means waking up each day and deciding what kind of person you want to be, what kind of life you want to create. Every decision you make, every action you take should align with that vision. It's about knowing who you are and what you want, then making choices that reflect that knowledge. This requires clarity. Most people don't live intentionally because they don't know what they truly want. They let society, their families, their friends, or the expectations of others shape their path. But living this way is like trying to sail a boat without a rudder. You may go somewhere, but it won't be where you want to go. You may get somewhere that's comfortable, but it won't be fulfilling. Without a clear destination, you're drifting. To live with intention, you must first get clear on what matters most to you. What do you truly want out of life? What makes you feel alive? What brings you joy? What are you willing to fight for? These are the questions that will give you clarity and direction. Once you know what matters to you, everything else falls into place. You will stop chasing things that don't serve you and start prioritizing what truly adds value to your life. Intention also requires discipline. It's not enough to simply know what you want. You must be willing to do the work, to make the sacrifices, and to stay focused even when the path gets tough. There will always be distractions, always be moments when you're tempted to take the easy route, but intentional living is about staying the course, about pushing through those moments when it's easier to quit than to keep going. It's in those moments of discomfort, when you feel like giving up, that you prove to yourself what you're really made of. You prove that you have the strength to follow through, to stay committed to your vision, even when the world tries to pull you off course. This is where growth happens. This is where you build resilience. And this is where you begin to see the results of living with intention. When you live intentionally, you also stop being a victim of your circumstances. Life will always throw challenges your way. It will always test you, push you, and try to derail you. But when you live with purpose, those challenges become stepping stones rather than roadblocks. You see them as opportunities to grow, to learn, to become better. You stop seeing obstacles as something to be feared and start seeing them as something to be conquered. One of the most powerful aspects of living with intention is that it gives you control. It allows you to create the life you want rather than waiting for life to happen to you. Instead of reacting to the world around you, you become the architect of your own destiny. This sense of control gives you confidence. You know that no matter what happens, you have the ability to make choices that move you forward. And that confidence spills over into every area of your life. Your career, your relationships, your health, your happiness. Living intentionally also means being fully present in every moment. When you have clarity about what matters most to you, you are able to focus on what's in front of you. You're no longer distracted by the noise and chaos of the world. You can give your full attention to the task at hand, to the person in front of you, to the moment you are in. This level of presence allows you to do your best work, to build deeper relationships, and to experience life more fully. But living with intention isn't always easy. It requires constant reflection and recalibration. It requires you to check in with yourself regularly and make sure you're still on track, still moving toward your goals. It means making adjustments when things aren't working, being honest with yourself when you're off course, and taking responsibility for your actions. The truth is, most people don't live intentionally because it's easier not to. It's easier to let life happen to you, to follow the crowd, to take the path of least resistance. But this is not the path to greatness. This is not the path to fulfillment. To live a truly meaningful life, you must choose the harder path, the path of intention. You must choose to be deliberate in every aspect of your life. This is how you create a life that is uniquely your own, a life that is full of purpose, passion, and meaning. So I ask you, what kind of life are you creating? Are you letting life happen to you, or are you choosing to live with intention? Every moment is an opportunity to steer your life in the direction you want it to go. The question is, are you willing to take control? Distractions are the silent killers of progress. They come in all shapes and sizes, often disguised as harmless diversions that promise to make our lives easier, more entertaining, or more connected. Yet in reality, they rob us of something far more valuable: our focus, our attention, and ultimately our time. The modern world is a maze of distractions, each one vying for a piece of your mind, your energy, your attention. And if you're not careful, they'll steal your future. One click, one notification, just 5 more minutes at a time. Think about it. How often do you find yourself pulled in different directions throughout the day? 1 minute you're thinking about an important project, the next minute you're checking your phone, reading an email, scrolling through social media, or watching a video. It's as if our minds are constantly being tugged away from what matters most. This is the reality many of us face, day in and day out. And it's a battle we must learn to win if we want to achieve anything meaningful in our lives. The problem is we've become so accustomed to being distracted that we don't even realize it's happening. We've become addicted to the dopamine hits we get from notifications, from likes, from new updates, from the constant flow of information. Our brains have been rewired to expect instant gratification, and as a result, we struggle to focus on anything that requires sustained effort or deep thought. The world has trained us to want everything now, and that desire for immediacy interferes with our ability to focus on the long-term goals that truly matter. But here's the truth. If you want to achieve anything of significance, you must learn to control your focus. You must learn to block out the noise, to silence the distractions that threaten to derail your progress. Focus is not something that comes naturally in a world full of distractions. It's a skill, one that must be developed and honed over time. It's about training your mind to stay locked in on what truly matters, blocking out everything else that doesn't serve your purpose. The first step in overcoming distractions is recognizing them for what they are. Distractions are not just harmless time wasters. They are opportunities for your goals to slip through your fingers. Every time you allow yourself to be distracted, you're telling yourself that whatever you're working on isn't important enough to deserve your full attention. But the truth is, Nothing in your life will ever get better until you start giving your focus to the things that truly matter. The next step is to make intentional choices about how you spend your time. You can't eliminate all distractions. Some are inevitable, and some are even necessary. But you can choose how much time you give to them. You can decide when to check your phone, when to check your email, when to watch that video or scroll through that social media feed. You don't have to be a slave to every ping, every vibration, every notification. You have the power to control when you engage and when you disconnect. One of the most powerful ways to regain control over your focus is by creating an environment that supports your goals. If you want to focus on your work, create a workspace that minimizes distractions. If you want to focus on your health, create a routine that keeps you on track. If you want to build a business, a career, or a relationship, create a plan that helps you stay on course. The environment you live in plays a huge role in your ability to stay focused. If you constantly find yourself distracted by noise, clutter, or technology, take a step back and evaluate your environment. What changes can you make to support your focus? It's also important to set clear priorities. Distractions often arise because we don't know what's most important. We let the urgent things take priority over the important things. We react to life instead of creating it. If you want to eliminate distractions, you must get clear on your goals and your values. What are the things that truly matter to you? What are the things that will help you move closer to the life you want? Once you have clarity on your priorities, you can begin to eliminate the distractions that don't align with those priorities. One of the most effective ways to minimize distractions is to set boundaries. This is a critical part of focus, learning to say no to things that don't serve your goals. It's easy to get caught up in other people's demands, to say yes to every request, to spread yourself too thin. But this only leads to burnout and scattered attention. Setting boundaries is not about being selfish, it's about protecting your time and your energy. When you say no to something, you're saying yes to something else, something that aligns with your vision. Remember that focus is a muscle that needs to be trained. Just like any other skill, it takes practice to get better at it. If you find yourself constantly distracted, don't beat yourself up. Instead, use each distraction as an opportunity to refocus, to strengthen your ability to stay on task. Start small. Set a timer for 15 minutes and focus solely on one thing. Gradually increase the amount of time you spend in focused work. The more you practice, the stronger your focus will become. Distractions are not your enemy. They are a challenge, a test of your commitment to your goals. The more you learn to control your focus, the more powerful you will become. Your ability to stay focused on what matters most will determine your success in every area of your life. If you can master this skill, you will accomplish things that most people only dream of. Focus is the key to unlocking your potential, and once you've learned to harness it, there is nothing you can't achieve. We live in a world where the pace of change is relentless. Every day, new technologies emerge, new opportunities arise, and new challenges present themselves. The future is unfolding before us at a speed we've never known, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed, as though we're being carried along by the current, unsure of where it will take us. But here's the truth. While we cannot control the speed of change, we have complete control over how we respond to it. And how we respond to change will define not only our success, but our ability to grow, adapt, and thrive in an ever-evolving world. The first step in embracing change is understanding that it is inevitable. Change is not something that happens to you. It is a constant presence in your life. It's the force that drives progress, that fuels innovation, that forces us to confront our own limitations and push beyond them. Change is what keeps life interesting, what prevents us from stagnating. Without change, there would be no growth, no evolution, no new possibilities. But many people fear change. They resist it, cling to the familiar, and struggle to adapt. The irony is that in doing so, they are often sabotaging their own progress. Fear of change stems from the unknown. When you face something new, something unfamiliar, there's always a sense of uncertainty. You don't know what lies ahead, and that uncertainty can be paralyzing. But here's the paradox. The fear of the unknown is often far worse than the reality of the change itself. We imagine the worst outcomes, but most of the time, those outcomes never materialize. The truth is, change is a chance for growth, a chance to learn, to innovate, to become better. When we resist change, we resist the very opportunities that will take us to the next level. Embracing change means letting go of the need for certainty. It means accepting that life is unpredictable, that the path forward will not always be clear, but trusting that every step you take is leading you somewhere worthwhile. Change requires you to step out of your comfort zone, to take risks, to do things that scare you. It's easy to stay where you are, to keep doing what you've always done, because that feels safe. But nothing extraordinary ever happens in the comfort zone. The moment you decide to step outside of it, you enter the realm of possibility, where anything can happen. But change isn't just about making big leaps or taking monumental risks. It's about making small shifts in your mindset and your actions every day. It's about recognizing the opportunities that come with every change, no matter how small they seem. Sometimes the biggest transformations come from the smallest of changes. Maybe it's changing the way you think about a problem, or changing the way you approach a task. Perhaps it's learning a new skill or stepping into a leadership role. The point is that change doesn't always have to be dramatic to have a profound impact on your life. It's the cumulative effect of small changes that leads to massive growth over time. The ability to adapt is one of the greatest assets you can have in today's world. The people who thrive in times of change are those who can quickly adjust their mindset, who see challenges as opportunities rather than threats, and who are willing to experiment, fail, and try again. Adaptability is not just about adjusting to external circumstances. It's about cultivating a mindset that is flexible, open, and willing to evolve. It's about looking at every situation as a chance to learn, to grow, and to develop. This mindset of continuous learning and growth is what enables you to stay ahead in a world that's constantly changing. When you embrace change, you also become more resilient. Change often brings setbacks, obstacles, and moments of failure. But these are not signs that you should give up. They are signs that you are pushing yourself, that you are stepping into new territory. Resilience is not about avoiding failure. It's about learning how to rise from it, how to learn from it, how to use it as fuel for your next attempt. The most successful people are not those who never fail, but those who keep going despite their failures. They understand that failure is not the end, but a part of the process, a necessary step on the road to success. To embrace change fully, you must also be willing to let go of old habits and outdated ways of thinking. The world changes, but many people hold on to the past, clinging to old methods, old ideas, and old systems that no longer serve them. They become stagnant, stuck in patterns that no longer work. Change requires you to be open to new ways of thinking, new approaches, and new methods. It requires you to challenge your own beliefs, to question your assumptions, and to be willing to evolve in response to new information. The willingness to embrace change also opens the door to innovation. When you're not afraid to challenge the status quo, when you're willing to experiment and explore new ideas, you position yourself as a creator, a leader, someone who is shaping the future rather than simply reacting to it. Innovation doesn't always come from giant breakthroughs. It often comes from small adjustments, from asking better questions, from looking at things from a different perspective. When you embrace change, you become part of that process, contributing to the world in ways you never thought possible. Change is a journey, not a destination. It's not about arriving at a final point where everything is perfect and complete. It's about the continuous process of growth, of learning, of evolving. The journey itself is where the magic happens. When you embrace change, you unlock new possibilities, new horizons, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. The only true constant in life is change, and the sooner you embrace it, the more vibrant and rewarding your life will become. Remember, change is not something to fear, it's something to embrace. It's an opportunity to become better, to become more. If you can learn to adapt, to stay flexible, to embrace the unknown, you will find that the world opens up to you in ways you never imagined. The future's waiting for you, and it's filled with limitless possibilities. The only question is, are you ready to embrace it? There's something incredibly powerful about the decisions you make today. Every choice you make, every action you take has a ripple effect, stretching far beyond the moment. Yet, so many of us live as though our decisions don't matter, as though they're small, insignificant, or inconsequential. But let me tell you something, nothing could be further from the truth. Your decisions, no matter how seemingly minor, shape the trajectory of your life. They define who you become, what you achieve, and how you experience the world. You have the power to shape your future with the choices you make today. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that your life is dictated by circumstances beyond your control, by the people around you, or by external forces. But the truth is, your destiny lies in your hands. The decisions you make are not just about where you are right now, they are about where you will be tomorrow, next year, and in the years to come. The choices you make today create the person you will become in the future. There's a great deal of responsibility that comes with that realization. When you understand that your decisions matter, it becomes clear that you must approach them with intention and awareness. Every choice, from the smallest to the most significant, has consequences. And while not every decision will have an immediate impact, over time, the cumulative effect of your choices will determine the direction of your life. This is why it's so important to make decisions that align with your values, your goals, and your vision for the future. But how do you make better decisions? How do you ensure that the choices you make lead you toward the life you want rather than away from it? The first step is awareness. You must be aware of the impact of your decisions, both in the short term and the long term. It's easy to get caught up in the moment, to make impulsive decisions based on emotion or convenience. But real growth happens when you take a step back and consider the bigger picture. Will this decision move me closer to my goals? Will it bring me closer to the life I want to create? These are the questions you must ask yourself before making any decision. The second step is to take responsibility for your choices. It's easy to blame others, to point fingers, to make excuses for why things didn't turn out the way you hoped. But the truth is, your decisions are your own. You have the power to make them, and you have the power to change them. This means accepting responsibility for the outcomes, good or bad, that result from your choices. It's not always easy to face the consequences of your actions, but it's a crucial part of growth. When you take responsibility, you take control of your life. You stop being a passive observer and become an active participant in shaping your future. Another key to making better decisions is clarity. You must be clear about what you want and why you want it. So often we make decisions based on external pressures or the expectations of others. We let other people's opinions or societal norms dictate the choices we make, without stopping to ask ourselves if those choices align with our own desires. But to make decisions that truly serve you, you must have a deep understanding of your own goals and values. What do you want from life? What are you willing to work for? What kind of person do you want to become? When you have clarity about these things, your decisions become easier. You know what's right for you, and you can move forward with confidence. The next step in making better decisions is to practice patience. We live in a world that demands instant results, where everything is fast, quick, and now. But when it comes to making important decisions, patience is key. Take the time to think things through. Don't rush into decisions out of fear, anxiety, or urgency. Often the best decisions are the ones that are carefully considered, thought through, and weighed against all available options. Trust that the right decision will reveal itself in time. And don't be afraid to take a moment to step back, reflect, and give yourself the space to make the right choice. Of course, not all decisions are easy. In fact, some of the most important decisions in life are the hardest to make. They require courage, conviction, and a willingness to step into the unknown. But that's where the magic happens. The most transformative decisions often come when we take risks, when we step outside of our comfort zones, and when we trust ourselves enough to make choices that might not be popular, but that align with our deepest values. It's in these moments of courage that we find our true strength, our true potential. Making better decisions also means learning from your mistakes. No one is perfect, and no one makes the right decision all the time. But the key is to learn from each experience, to analyze what went wrong and why, and to use that knowledge to make better decisions in the future. Every mistake is an opportunity to grow, to improve, and to refine your decision-making process. When you stop fearing failure and start seeing it as a learning experience, you'll find that your decisions become more informed, more strategic, and more aligned with your long-term goals. The power of your decisions lies in their ability to shape your future. Each decision you make is like a seed you plant in the ground. Some seeds will grow quickly, others will take time, but over time, each decision you make will come to fruition, shaping your life in ways you can't always predict. The more intentional you are about your choices, the more aligned those choices will be with the life you want to create. Your decisions today will determine who you become tomorrow. So, take them seriously, take them with purpose, and take them with the understanding that they are the building blocks of your future. There is a profound truth that often gets overlooked in the hustle and bustle of daily life. It is not about what happens to you, but how you respond to it that determines the course of your life. Life will throw challenges your way without question. It will present obstacles that seem insurmountable, setbacks that make you question your strength, and moments that feel like you're at the end of your rope. But here's the thing, those challenges are not the end of the story. They are simply chapters in a much larger narrative. The true measure of your success, your resilience, and your ability to thrive in this world comes down to how you respond to adversity. So many of us fall into the trap of thinking that success is about avoiding challenges, about making sure that everything goes smoothly and according to plan. But that's not reality. Life is messy, it's unpredictable, it's a series of unexpected twists and turns, and it's precisely these challenges that shape us, define us, and force us to grow. The key to navigating life is not to resist challenges, but to develop the ability to face them head-on with strength, determination, and a mindset that turns obstacles into opportunities. What often happens when we face adversity is that we become consumed by it. We allow the weight of the situation to overwhelm us, to dictate our thoughts and actions. It's easy to spiral into negativity, to start doubting ourselves, and to lose sight of the bigger picture. But in those moments, we must remember this: adversity does not define you. Your response does. When you face a challenge, it's an invitation to rise above it, to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. And it's in those moments when you feel like giving up that your true character is forged. One of the most powerful tools you can develop in the face of adversity is perspective. The way you view a challenge can completely alter your experience of it. If you approach it as an obstacle, as something standing in your way, then it will feel insurmountable. But if you approach it as an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become better, then suddenly that challenge becomes a stepping stone to something greater. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. Every setback is an opportunity for a comeback. Every failure is an opportunity for growth. But this shift in perspective doesn't come naturally. It requires intention, effort, and a willingness to see beyond the immediate discomfort. When you face adversity, it's important to remember that you are not alone. We all face struggles. We all experience hardships. And while your experience may be unique, the human experience of overcoming challenges is universal. You are part of something much larger than yourself. Knowing this, remembering that you are not alone in your struggles, can provide immense strength in difficult times. It reminds you that others have walked this path before you and emerged stronger on the other side, and if they can do it, so can you. Another essential aspect of overcoming adversity is resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back, to get up after you've been knocked down, to keep moving forward despite the setbacks. It's not about never falling or never failing, it's about how quickly you get back on your feet, how you pick yourself up and keep going. Resilience is not something you're born with, it's something you develop over time. It's the product of consistent effort, of facing challenges head on and learning from each experience. Resilience is what allows you to push through the tough times, to stay focused on your goals and to keep going when everything inside you tells you to quit. But resilience doesn't just come from pushing through adversity in isolation. It also comes from the support you surround yourself with. In times of difficulty, we often turn inward, thinking we have to handle everything on our own. But true resilience comes from the ability to lean on others, to ask for help when you need it, and to allow others to support you. The greatest leaders, the most successful individuals, are not those who do it all on their own. They are the ones who understand the importance of collaboration, of building a strong network of people who will lift you up when you can't lift yourself. Don't be afraid to ask for help. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It takes courage to admit that you need support, and it takes wisdom to know when to seek it. When you are faced with adversity, it's crucial to remember the power of perseverance. The road to success is not a straight line. It's full of detours, roadblocks, and setbacks. But if you stay committed, if you keep putting one foot in front of the other, you will eventually reach your destination. Perseverance is about refusing to quit, even when things get tough. It's about staying focused on your vision, even when the path seems unclear. The most successful people are not those who never face adversity. They are the ones who refuse to give up, no matter how many obstacles are in their way. It's the quiet strength, the determination to keep going, that leads to the greatest achievements. But above all, overcoming adversity requires faith. Faith in yourself, faith in the process, faith that no matter how difficult things seem right now, this too shall pass. Every challenge you face is temporary. It will not last forever. And with each passing day, you are becoming stronger, more capable, and more equipped to handle whatever comes next. Have faith that the difficulties you face today are preparing you for the success you will achieve tomorrow. The path to greatness is never easy, but it is always worth it. Adversity is not something to fear, it's something to embrace.